Thanks for staying with us. We have a producer, director, actress, and script writer. She is also a multilingual French language graduate who has produced and directed several groundbreaking Nollywood movies. She has won different awards, and she's on the show with us today. Welcome with us, Omoni Oboli. We also have another talented Nigerian actress, screenwriter, and film producer who has appeared, written, and produced many Nollywood movies. She has garnered numerous accolades, including the Afro Hollywood Awards UK for Best Actress in 2008, among others. Welcome with us again, Uche Jombo. These are our superstars, the people who are looking forward to becoming like them. They have done amazing work. And before we go into what they have for us, we want to gist with them. You came on our gist day, so join us to explore the gist. So, the first gist we have today. A mother received a phone call from her son's school. According to her, the nurse had called saying that her son had only 2 pills left and he needed a refill. She told the nurse that she had the wrong name and that her son does not take any medication. The nurse says yes. Oh, well, disregard the email that I sent. Now, she got home from work and something told her to ask her son if he was getting any medication at school. And he said yes. She took the son to the hospital, and the doctor did a urine sample and a blood sample, and her son tested positive for Adderall. The nurse had been giving her son another child's medication for 5 weeks. What are your thoughts on this? I'm telling you. So you can join the conversation and call us on 081-076-41679 or 090-2416-3440. You can also tweet us at TVC Connect using the hashtag YourViewTVC on X. So let us break down the stories. We're parents here. Most of us are. And then you find out that your son has been given a wrong medication for about 5 weeks. Where do you start from? How do you handle the conversation? Who do you carry the fight to? But before I come to you, ladies, let's hear the ladies of your view. Nima,
I really wanted the money to go first.
Should we go?
5 weeks is too long, the duration. I can understand mistake within a day, 2 days. You know, because when you are giving a child, you're also monitoring progress. As a school nurse now, you know, be quack now. You're supposed to be an expert qualified. The child that you are giving, what was the condition that made you, or made the family or doctors put the child on that, and you go watch some things. You know, you just don't pick a child and start to pump medicine into them. 5 weeks, that's a month plus. No, something must happen. But let me be my calm mother. Let me not be that kind of Edo mother fight mood. You would explain for me what happened, and I'm going to sue. I'm going to sue seriously. Because,
why are you suing? The nurse, the school?
Because everybody. You know, drugs are chemicals. Must have altered my son's entire. I was talking about taking coffee since yesterday morning. Like this, I do. Like this, I do. Since yesterday morning, I never sleep. You know? So, my dear coffee to me. How drug want to pay baby? We'll talk to you.
Uche Jombo, what do you think about this?
Both of us are going to die on the line. let's start from there. Because, I mean, how do you explain that? First of all, where did this happen?
In a school.
In Nigeria?
In Nigeria.
Wow. As a nurse, when you're giving a child medication once in a while, shouldn't you call the parent to say, I hope your child is taking his medication, I hope you're monitoring that, so that the mother can say what medication? No, he's not supposed to be on any. You let it a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 5 weeks. Everybody will be sued. Everybody. The school, the nurse, everybody.
My thing is, nobody's talking about the child that was supposed to be taking the medication.
Exactly. That one, the one side.
Because, I mean, I don't know what Adderall, what do you call them?
Adderall, yeah.
I don't know what it's for, but obviously the other child needed it. That's why it was prescribed. So what's been happening to that child that has not been getting his medication because they've been giving it to another child? And we talk about that child. Because me, I know, say, me and the nurse and the school, you know, it's all over for all of us. But at least let's talk about, since our own is over for us, let's talk about the person that is not over for. What happened to that child?
For 5 weeks.
5 whole weeks of not taking their medication.
A child who clearly needs
medication.
Exactly.
Amaka Orakwe.
So this reeks of lack of efficiency, obviously, because I want to believe that when you're handling children, you should label, especially things like drugs. Even their school bag, everything about kids must be labeled. So you know that this is for disease. But kids are allergic to food, nuts, a lot of things. So there must be, people have to be efficient and label. Also, in school, why is it just one nurse? Because I want to believe that there was a supervision, or maybe there was another nurse, right? Someone would have noticed that something was out of place. Okay. So is it that it's one nurse that's taking care of everybody? What is the school doing about that? Everybody will go down, definitely. But like you rightly said, Monida, what happens to the child that needed that job for 5 weeks?
Without having to
take it. Situation, you know what I mean?
Thinking about it now,
so,
that's not too incompetent for me.
Too incompetent.
The job must not have been given to the child
to the
class.
the original child.
No, I mean, even administering it can't be in class.
A name.
You go carry the pikin, go
sick bay.
Sick bay, exactly. So which child did you pick? Is it that you pick the one that fine for your eye? You pick the one where, like, I don't get. You pick the child. You can't pick the child who doesn't need a drug. I don't think...
It was labeled wrongly from the start. That's where the problem started.
Because last night I was packing my children. They're going for camp this weekend. I was packing their bags. I bought new beds, so I use tape, tie everything, write their names. So my son was like, my son name is this, my son name is that. I said, is there any other person in your class with your first name? Yes. He was like thinking about it. I don't think so. I said, check well, because I don't write them some places. I can't imagine that you come to class, even if there were 2 of them with the same names, and you do not ask.
You have to verify.
It's not like they're picking ramp down.
I have a problem with everybody. I have a problem with the parents of the child who was supposed to be taking the Adderall. Now, when you, as a parent, have a medication for your child, you liaise with the nurse. You tell them that this child is supposed to take this medication from so time to so time.
Which must have been done at the start.
Yes. Then you check back in.
That's where the problem
started. As a parent, you check back.
You're supposed to check every day.
Every day.
Did she take or did he take?
Thank you. Even if it's after 2 days or 3 days. Nurse, how is my son doing? How is the medication? Do we still have enough? What do I need to do? Is it reacting? You follow up. So these parents for 5 weeks just drop medicine with nurse and did not follow up. That's one.
Yep.
So she's also at fault.
Yep.
Then the nurse too, who was giving medication, did not follow up till medication finish. And then send her to remain. You are now asking
you're going
the parents. That one is also a slap on all of them. The school system also should have a register for people who are taking medications. Like I remember when my kids are, there was a time they had to take, it was even a cough syrup, and I sent to the school. The school would send emails from time to time. Your son has been given the medication at so time, so that they could have spotted that mistake that this medication is for the wrong kid.
You see, Adderall is used to treat deficit hyperactivity disorder. It's a drug that has side effects including nausea, chest pain. It's too much. Did it reach 20 side effects?
So it's ADHD drug. Now they no get ADHD. First of all, I have a problem with ADHD. First, leave that one, because as far as I'm concerned, boys can be hyperactive and they label them wrongly. But let's leave that. You now give it to someone that is maybe not even fire speaking way just day your own judge. Four of us are really gonna die on the line.
Then also we always talk about making your children comfortable enough to have conversations with you. And I don't know how often they call, if it's a boarding house, because I know we are allowed
to be
for this to happen. So some schools, I know they call weekly to check on your kids. For other schools like me, I can call any day.
No call now.
I can call any day from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. There's a window to call. The child did not communicate to the parent that I went to the nurse today and I took medication. So it also brings me to how close is this child with the parents? That's the one that has been taking the medication. Because when I call my kids, for instance, how was your day? What happened today? No. I'm just saying. Wait.
Maybe it's a quiet case.
All the angles. No.
Maybe it's a quiet case.
Let us explore all the angles. Now, if you have, no matter how, I have a quiet child, I have noisy ones, right? When I call and I ask, how was your day? What happened today? I expect a debrief. So they gist me, I injured, I fell. And my teacher told me something that was bad. I sat on the corner, I cried and all of that. So there's no, I want to believe that there was no free communication between the child and the mother. That's the wrong child now who has been taken. Yeah. If they had a free-flowing, gistic communication, he would have mentioned, I was at the clinic today. I took medicine, and then the mother would say, who gave you medicine? Which nurse was
a
that?
good
Because 5 weeks,
but I
yes, 5 weeks is a long
This
time.
why I
He's taking it
disagree.
every day.
Kids will
Should
tell
inform
you
his parents.
all the things they do in school, deliberately miss the most important ones. It happens every time.
That's why they are kids.
They are kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
It happens all the time. They go miss them. See this drug safe, they wrote there.
For
that
5
the
weeks only.
The drug make pikin lose appetite. Pikin will lose appetite,
Right.
chop. He don't tire.
You know, go fit talk.
Weight loss, dry mouth. The child is upset, is vomiting. The child has a headache. The child will just be disorientated. He go just, they look like, say, he doesn't know because the drug is not meant for him. Whereas the child
wish I
who
knew
needs
the
it
age of the child.
would have
I will
improved
know.
focus. The child who needs it will have improved focus, reduce impulsivity. The child, they say, purpose of the drug. So you have altered another child.
child.
And children are children.
It will shock you that
They
this
will
child is
deliver-
probably 3 or 4. We're just assuming boarding school.
Yes,
It
no,
will
they're not
shock
body,
you.
no. This child is a child.
It's probably
In this
3
story,
or 4.
It's a child. It's a primary school
Hey.
situation.
Yeah.
So it's not something.
Okay, so maybe the child needs to take that drug at a certain time window when they're in school.
Yes.
You know
Because
what
of the
breaks my heart
hyper-
with schools?
Oh.
You know this has happened when my son was 2. The person who was supposed to be watching CCTV, if it wasn't that she confirmed she was in hospital at the time, I just didn't know how I would ration what happened to my 2-year-old. Because me, I go carry pikin every day, turn her outside down, check him. It was a fingernail pinch that I used to insist on the CCTV views of the school. And what we unraveled, all the old school could not cope with it. That fingernail, I said, who can't shook you for eye now? I mean, oh my God. He couldn't even, express himself enough.
yeah.
He just called the teacher's name, Ashley, and said, she does this to me all the time. I called this class, I want to see camera. Who does this all the time? But every day I've been checking that child. What the camera showed were dates back.
Wow. That you didn't even notice.
And I didn't notice because I was saying this driver. Then I was the one in charge of the bus and driver. I hired him. So how was my child on the trip? Mommy, he doesn't like to sit in one place. I said, okay, you are playing rough. See the things I had excuse to the things I found. There's no perfect thing. But somebody can just, because there was a camera in class, if that person was in our office watching, you know, go past 2 days before they go cash out. That person don't work. I trust everybody. Me trust you picking, you trust somebody else. You will find what happened. And they are babies.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
They are babies. If you're supposed to be sitting in supervisory capacity, sit down, do your work, waka waka, no day inside. Because that's why the problem is. Let's assume the nurse doesn't know what she's doing, but somebody employed her. Somebody should be checking which baby is that. Somebody should be checking the files also, the class teacher, to know which child is supposed to be on this kind of medication.
Everybody just
like I said, one nurse should not be hand. There must be, when it comes to healthcare, there must be supervision where, even if they're taking shifts, where one person does this, another person
have
does
a lot
checks.
too.
This is healthcare, and you're dealing with a lot of children. So what the main nurse, supervisor, manager, all of them are.
So let's talk about how we resolve issues like this, especially in this country. So let's take, for instance, she goes to school like Omoni Oboli and Uche now to go and raise down the school, and the teacher starts pleading and begging and asking for forgiveness. What do you do?
So that my issue is this. The reason why things keep happening in this country over and over and over again is because there's no accountability. So people know that last, they will leave and make it go. Someone hit my car the other day. Last, Shebi will still leave and make it go. Because am I going to just sit in traffic here now when I have things I'm doing, I'm promoting film, I'm doing that, will I sit with you for hours? Because now they're begging and doing all of that. So that's why people keep doing what they do, because they know, make I just beg, lie down on the floor. Talk about the fact that you're also a mother with 5 children. If anything happens to you, they will not take care of your 5 children, blah, blah, blah. That's the problem. Outside the country, me and you not get talk. When I don't shout finish, police go come settle everything. Like, we don't have to have that conversation of, please, I'm sorry, or whatever.
I don't even need to know you or your history.
Do you remember when something happened to your son on the school bus?
Yes.
You don't need to, there's no conversation to
Let
be
me take
had.
this call. I'll come back to Uche. We have Yakub on the line from Dokbemu. Good morning, Yakub.
Good morning to everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Especially you guys, your brother and then Uche. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is for me, you guys have already said it all. I didn't think that drug is a drug that kills instantly.
Hey.
So what will happen? What will happen? And then you extend a drug to someone that does not even need it at all. And then this thing that happened now, it has effect in the nearest future for that baby.
Yes.
Because never can tell what will happen to that child as he's growing. And then you mentioned something that maybe when you not decide to go to the school and then want to take an action, and then they will not say, please, I'm sorry, this. You know why China is progressed today? It's because the law is working. It's because the law is working. If you are corrupt and then they got you are killed. That's where they are today. But especially when you go to school and then the management now say, Madam, I beg, this, and then you let it go. It will happen again. And then it will happen again to the extent that one time they got killed.
Never.
And then for me, that law is not a qualifying law. That's the truth. Good morning.
Good morning. No. But you know, this is Nigeria now. We always have a way of allowing God to be the judge. Uche, what do you say about?
I know we do that, but it's sensitive when we are dealing with kids.
Yeah.
And if someone does this, you don't take their license away, I don't think there's any lesson that will be learned.
Yeah.
And when it comes to things like this, like the caller rightly said, what if something more could have happened to that child for taking that medication for that long? So you just say, sorry, that your child that is active or a very calm boy is now opposite or something, or something like really is wrong with him now. From the result of this, I will now say, okay, I'll forgive you. God will judge you. Are you kidding? Someone or some people need to lose their jobs and license so that it's not just for them to send a message that this can be done. When you're dealing with kids, it's not allowed.
Yeah, it's not allowed.
It's not.
And we're not considering also the fact that it's difficult to get jobs right now. We're in a band A economy, everybody's struggling. And then the appeal will be, so if they let her go, how will she survive? She has
My
kids.
brother, you go and do house girl. My sister, anything you can do.
Anything that will not put another person's anything that will not put another person's child at risk, go and do.
Anything they work. Work day. And I say some people don't want to do that kind of work. What say work no day? Work day. How people they do bricklayer?
Who self-medicated
now,
this
come
child.
on.
And that led to the death of the child. What he simply did was, my child, they hot, he buy pharmacy. Old Ojoro just bought, there was a pharmacy there, and all of us used to patronize, and he bought a drug from that pharmacy. If we didn't know the pharmacy and the quality, we would have said was the quality of the drug. It happened that, contraindications of drugs did not work with his child's nature. If it was a doctor's prescription, maybe the doctor will ask, they each, if you use, they will ask some kind of history, but he bought it himself.
Right.
And so he can see what drugs can do.
Yeah, we have a call on the line. Grace. Good morning, Grace. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Yeah, you're live. Go ahead with your contributions.
Okay, first of all, I would like to say that negligence on the part of the nurse. Because, for the part of the nurse, because she, as a nurse, I believe they have certain procedures and rules they are meant to follow when it comes to administration of drugs to the patient. As a nurse, you're supposed to confirm if this medication is the appropriate medication to be given to the child, and the name of the child to correspond to the medication that was prescribed as well. But in cases like that, she did the wrong thing. And I don't know if they still are actually ready to own up to what they have done, or if they're actually ready to follow up and try to do the necessary things, do what they're supposed to do to counter what has been done to the child. But cases like that, someone like me, I would advise maybe they take this child to the hospital for proper assessment and evaluation. To see if that child has taken this medication for a long time, if more damage has been done to the child. Then the necessary thing needs to be done. The nurse has to answer for it. Why she gave that child that medication for 5 good weeks. If it was 1 day, I would have said, yes, that was an error on her part. But 5 good weeks is too much to give a child a wrong medication. So I think that's what I have.
It is. Thank you so much. Amaka, final thoughts on this?
So I want to say something, and then I'm going to end with a question. So people need to understand that actions have consequences. Hearing that in schools where different schools, one thing or the other keeps happening. So I think that the first thing that should be done is they should launch an investigation in the school generally, because if this kind of negligence can happen in the healthcare with something as that they're supposed to put focus on and be dedicated to like this, then how much more what's going on in the school, bullying, other things that you might not know.
Yeah.
And then I want to end with the question in the sense that if I'm not a mother, so I'm gonna
adding that yet. Yeah.
So if you're supposed to give your child certain medication and you're supposed to take that medication to school, do you think it's within the mother's responsibility to tell the child like that, you're supposed to be taking this medication and then I'm going to give it to your school?
Depending on the age of the child.
Or do you also tell your child why, just like abroad, they don't give you any medication without telling you the reason why
you're taking that
medication? Do you think it's the parent's responsibility to also let the child know that you're taking this for this, and then I'm going to drop you with the school, and then you're taking this medication?
Yeah, I think
it depends on the age.
Yeah, because I know I used to do that, but my kids were younger at the time, so yeah, maybe it's 3 or 4 year old. They don't know. They don't even know what it is. Probably even forget the minute they walk out, the door and stuff. So it's really the responsibility of the school, the healthcare practitioner, you as well, because you have to call.
Yeah, you have to follow up.
You have to follow up now. You gave them medication to give your child at 12 minutes. Are you supposed to call 5 minutes past 12 to say, has she taken his medication?
Everybody's at fault.
She might even call those who say I give him. But not the wrong child.
No, if I say I've given Mrs. Oboli, no. Hi, this is Mrs. Oboli. Have you given Chizzy his medication?
Place my child on the call.
Go say, yes, Mrs. Oboli, I've given Chizzy.
Yes.
Meanwhile,
No, she's supposed to know the difference.
That's why sometimes, they call this thing pepper body. For our side, they get them. I will tell you, place my child on the call. Whenever I talk to my child through a teacher's, talk to a teacher about my child, I always say, place my child on the call. So was my daughter then? I've spoken to your teacher about this, we'll continue at home, just to let her know I'm on top of things. Yes. And then they talk to my Pekin, on court phone. Yeah. Even if it's about academics, I would let her know I've spoken to her teacher and then we'll talk at home.
Then everybody needs to do due diligence. Yeah. So the classroom teacher should be involved. It's not just about the nurse.
Even that one is tricky because she's handling a lot of students.
Yeah, but that's what
it should be. Yes,
so
but it's
medical.
That's why they are there.
Why they have a nurse now.
That's what we're trying to do, Uche. I used to be a classroom teacher. So if a parent brings medication for a child, it comes to me first.
Before
I liaise with the nurse. I check in, I remind the child, go to the clinic to go take your medication and come back. If it's a baby, the nurse has to come to my class, pick the baby, and then bring back. So I'm following up, the parent is calling me, I'm liaising with the nurse. So everybody just takes charge and it makes it a lot easier. So I think schools just need to do better. With things like this. Thank you, ladies.
Pay salaries that are good. So that teacher nobody do things for.
Thank you, ladies, for this. I hope we've learned something from here. Everybody just needs to be more responsible, especially when you're dealing with delicate beings like our children. That's all we can take on this story. When we come back, we'll take yet another story. And our lovely actresses are here with us. Stay with us. We'll be back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.